Thing number four, recent weeks, we've been talking a lot about the commercial real estate space. We're coming back to that again. Thing number four, mall owners buying failing tenants. Tell us about that, Gary.
We've been featuring problems in commercial real estate, I think, for 2 months now.
Yeah,
It
too
it
much.
is
Okay.
it is a big problem. Smart people like Enrique Abeda from HX Research, who was here with us last week, has pointed out, and other people have pointed this out too. Hey, this won't be as bad as 2008. We don't think it can take down the economy. The banking sector there's less leverage, concentrated exposure here. Those are all valid points. I'm in no way suggesting that we're going to have a commercial real estate disaster next year that will rival the 2008 housing disaster, but it's bad and it's a problem. And this week we're focusing on some insane behavior by mall owners. I also want a hat tip here to Wolf Richter of Wolf Street. His report on this was the first place I saw it. The information's out in public, but I saw it there first, and it's always good to give credit. Hat tip to Wolf for covering this really well. So what he pointed out is that Express Inc., and that is a retail company. They own Express, UpWest, and is it Bonobos? I think it's
Yes.
Bonobos. All right.
Yes.
Sorry if I've mispronounced it. But the company is filing for bankruptcy. And after planned closures, there are going to be 435 stores. So there's a group of buyers that are going to buy these 435 stores and the brands out of bankruptcy. Okay, this is normal, right? That's fine. So what's the problem? The problem is that part of the buyer group includes Simon Property Group and Brookfield. Those are two huge mall operators and the largest creditors of Express Inc. So they're buying these guys out of bankruptcy. And, Rob, I'm assuming you're going to ask me the question, what could go wrong?
That's exactly my question. I had with the malls buying up these tenants. I mean, why is this an actually serious business problem for commercial real estate?
Right.
Sure, we have a very wise viewer base. I'm sure they know, but yeah, that was definitely my follow-up question, Gary.
Yeah. All right. So, right. Because I mean, why is this crazy? What could go wrong? All right. Let's talk it through. The US mall space has two giant problems. The first one, this has been going on for decades. The United States has far too much retail selling space. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I've seen these reports for years, for decades. If you look at retail selling space in the United States, number of square feet of retail selling space per citizen, it is a multiple of what you'd see in any other country. We just have a huge amount of that. And the problem is we had massive amounts of mall space and retail space right at the time that e-commerce became a thing. So I'm looking at the chart right now. Andrew put together the chart. Good job, Andrew Brown, our intern. So we had e-commerce in 2010 of about $45 billion. And as of last year, that was just under $300 billion. That's a big number. So people don't want to go to the mall. All right. All of that creates pressure on the retailers that rent space in malls. When they're suffering, the landlords for the malls, companies like Brookfield and Simon Property Group, they've got a problem, right? If you are a mall landlord and you have a whole bunch of stores that are going under and going out of business, they're going to stop paying their rent, right? That's the first thing they're going to cut. So they cut their rent and they go out of business. And as a mall operator, you're losing your stores. And so their answer is, well, we can keep them from going out of business by buying them. So you're going to buy them out of bankruptcy. And here's where it gets even crazier. This is doubling down on a problem. Where it gets even crazier is, I assure you that neither Simon nor Brookfield are better retail operators than Express, which was going bankrupt, right? So what is the one thing that Simon and Brookfield could do to make life easier for Express and these other 435 stores? Rob, here's the quiz for you. What could a mall operator do to make life better for a retail store in the mall?
Free rent.
Cut the rent. Right. So buying these guys out of bankruptcy Either you just bought a bankrupt company and you doubled down. Now you own the bankrupt operator and your tenant, right? That you just double down on the problem. Or the way you fix the problem is by cutting the rent, in which case, why didn't you do that before they went through bankruptcy? And what if you cut the rent? What does that do to your, if you're the mall operator, if you're the landlord, what does that do to your finances? This is one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life, where your customers are going out of business. So you decide, well, we'll just give them money to keep them in business. That doesn't mean you have a business. That just means you're pretending to have two businesses.
Wow, I was not expecting a comedy show on this week's Five Things, but my goodness, quite the circus
Yeah.
over there. Any other points? Any other final points on that one, Gary?
No, we're going out on a high note on that.
Okay, yeah, that's